That's what I feel like, man. Fucking triggered and a half. That's just ridiculous. What the actual fuck? Man, I'll tell you what's more entertaining than seeing this ridiculous presidential election finally finish and realize that it's not going to be talked about anymore. Have YouTube channels and Twitter accounts blow up like no fucking tomorrow and hear people bitch and moan about the fact that the wrong person got elected president. Women are getting pissed off that the woman didn't get elected president. The men are getting pissed off because, I don't know, you voted for who you voted for, okay? I'm not even in America and I understood how the process could have worked out much better. I'm all the way down here in Australia and I would very easily would have said that I would have either voted for Bernie Sanders or just some other third-party candidate. And everyone is just like freaking out something fierce. Everyone's like, oh, go fuck yourself, and like friendships are being ruined and like people are just getting in everyone's face for this. They're getting pissed off over something that they literally have no choice but to deal with it now. There's nothing you can do about it. Sorry to say, but for 4 years, for the next 4 years, you're gonna have to deal with Trump as your president. That's almost as bad as our Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, when we had him. He was considered as like the world's worst politician, and we had him. Whenever our Prime Minister was walking around in the streets, for real, when he would walk around in, you know, just random places, and he would try and say hi to people, people would legitimately say, go fuck yourself. For real, like not even censoring that shit, people would be like, dickhead, and full on call him out. Our country's leader. People would say that to his face. You knew that some shit was gonna go down if you guys didn't vote for the right person, whoever the right person might be. This whole campaign for the presidential election was just this giant, cartoonish debate. It was not even a debate. It was legitimately people getting riled up about personal problems that had nothing to do with the entire country as a whole. Only on the very few occasions did either of those two particular parties be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna be focusing on. And if it wasn't that, then it was like the absolute ultimate extremist version of whatever it is that we're gonna do. We're gonna bomb the shit out of that country. We are going to bomb the fuck out of this place. You know, it was just really over the top and very cartoonish. And it was very playground, childish, you know, bullshit. It was just so completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. It didn't need to go that way. Like, I've been talking about this for like weeks now, saying to as many people as I can who I actually do know over in the States who this does affect. You know, if you really want to support whatever it is you specifically want to support, not between just the two parties, because there are other parties out there. You can vote for a third-party candidate. They do exist, believe it or not. Just because they don't have an ad campaign doesn't mean they don't exist. That's why Trump and Clinton got as much screen time as they did, and that's why everyone just convinced themselves eventually that they were the only two that had the possibility of winning. No, anyone can win. It depends on your vote. And so therefore, you guys are the ones who technically are to blame. You guys made it a battle between the two different parties, that's all. You could have given some other third party who had great, you know, plans for the country's future, and you guys just pissed it all away because you weren't focusing on the people who weren't being advertised every 2 seconds on TV and on the internet and being talked about in the news every single fucking day. Even here in Australia, I'm not even in your country, and we see it on TV every day. And I'm like, really? I could give a rat's ass what's happening over in America with the presidential election. I couldn't give a shit. Honestly, it was like a narrated version of like Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. It was just fucking nuts. And if it wasn't anything to do with like bombing someone's country or like completely hating on someone who wasn't white, then it was like, this person's untrustworthy because of emails. And then it was like, it was just a back and forth about who could trust who about stuff. Yeah, okay, fine. So if you can't actually trust either of those two party candidates, who can you trust? Maybe there's a third party candidate that you can trust, who did do something positive in their past, who doesn't have a shady background. Oh, guess what? Two of those parties, the third party candidates, didn't have shady backgrounds. Actually, there was some of the most honest people you guys will probably never even get the chance to know. Yeah, and I actually am so happy that Grade A Under A did a video on this. Unfortunately, it wasn't quick enough to be able to sort of, you know, get a bit of momentum, because he does have a huge following, and because he does have a massive following, he could have potentially had some sort of influence, you know, to some tiny degree. But like he said in his video as well, I think it was like between 5 and 10% or something, it was either one of them, of overall votes, they get a boost in income to be able to help their next campaign if they wish to run for president in the next 4 years. Like, that's something. That is definitely something. If you guys do not want either of those two candidates who are gonna, you know, go head to head again, you know they will, then go for a third party candidate. It's as simple as that. There's just so much drama. It's so overwhelming. And one more thing I wanted to point out just before I go. I went down to the milk bar, just down the road, little convenience store on the corner of my street, and there's a little Asian woman who works in there. I just randomly decided to bring up the topic of the presidential election, saying how annoying it was, you know, the whole situation and how dramatized everything is at the moment. And she turned around and said, I think it's actually a good result. And I'm like, thinking to myself, you're Asian. And you're in Australia. Does it, huh? Like, I didn't say any of this to her, but I was like thinking to myself, so maybe she knows something that I don't know. And so I looked up a few things when I got home, and I was just like, okay, maybe he's not entirely racist. Maybe he's... What's happening right now? A couple of gay friends of mine as well were also like, oh yeah, it's actually not too bad of a thing. And I was just like, alright, confusion. What's happening? All I've been keep hearing from everyone is that he's an absolute and utter 100% racist, and you know, all these tons of things that these people who are in the LGBT community and people who are not white, why are they supporting Trump? Like that, if he is indeed all those things that everyone keeps boasting about online. Okay. I'm gonna end this here. I hope you guys are all having a bad day, and I'm sure everyone's going to have a hell of an opinion down in the comment section, so go to town on that shit. Go nuts. I just hope I don't get, like, attacked by fucking, like, Lacey Green's fans or something, because, man, that response that she gave to Shay Carl, and fuck. There's some shit going down, man. There's some shit happening. Onision, why did you leave your friend because he just voted for Trump? You're going to dump your friendship on someone who just voted for someone. That's what I feel like, man. Fucking triggered and a half. That's just ridiculous. What the actual fuck? Oh yeah, I've known this person my whole life, but he voted for someone who I don't support. That person might fuck up our country. That person might be an absolute dickhead. He might actually be a teenager in an old man's body and just has no sense of responsibility or anything. But no, I'm going to completely throw away a friendship that I've had since, I don't know how long, but I'm just going to throw it all away because he voted for someone who I didn't like. That's why. Logic. I'm sorry, Greg, but it's kind of true, man. Why did you do that? Make up with your mate, okay? Say sorry or something. Be like, okay, man, I made a mistake. It's fucking stupid of me. Like, people should be like, okay, there's a shit situation that's happening. How can we make it a positive? Okay? I'm a fucking hippie and a half like that, alright? You guys can do that shit too, okay? Get your shit together, alright? Fucking relax. I hope you guys are all having a mad day, and until next time, peace. Blah, 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 blah. Boop. What? What is happening?
Gosh, what a glorious day!
Holy shit, you have smoked way too much fucking weed, dude.
Smoke weed every day.
What? What the actual fuck is happening? Dude!